Well, it's the big moment. Super nervous because this thing's super nice and I know it's gonna get scratched eventually, but trying not to scratch it. Nick covered the whole bottom side of the transmission in painter's tape, and then he's like covering the jack all in painter's tape and padding and stuff. Because we gotta lift this heavy bastard up, put the jack underneath it, and then jack it up and stab it. So, fingers crossed.
Much later.
So, kind of sucked, but it wasn't that bad, I guess. But me and Nick got this thing stabbed in, all the titanium hardware in it and everything. But, all right, so excuse the mess, but just wanted to show you all this. It's my first time ever having individual EGTs, and then got that drilled and put in there. Shout out to Chance for doing that for me. But yeah, it's pretty cool. And then we're gonna be running a EMAP sensor on this so we can measure back pressure and everything. So it's about to get real fancy in here. All right, listen. I know the last clip you just saw was the trans in the car, but now it is back on the table. Man, it's been real stressful. So long story short, I didn't do my research. It's just lack of knowledge with this case series, what's interchangeable and what's not. But this indentation right here is normally where the cable bracket bolts to, and it's not there. I basically just found a trans with a casing that looked like this on Google Images. Turns out this is a 9th gen Civic Si transmission case, which is specific to itself. So unfortunately I had to pull it out. Wasted all this, powder coating job and everything like that. I got a RSX case and I'm going to put it on here, make sure everything fits. And that's one thing I should have done. With the window case, it fits, everything shifted, everything is perfect. I put this case on, all I did was measure the in-play on it and sent it, and it bit me in the ass. So once I get the RSX case on it, I will put everything on it, make sure it works before it goes back in the car. Okay, well, we've been here before, but all these right here, this is for your shift forks, for the shift mechanism to put everything in gear. But they weren't lined up before. So right here, using the billet case, this is the reverse fork. That fork wasn't going all the way down, or it couldn't go down far enough, so it wouldn't line up and it wouldn't let the shift mechanism slide in there. Well, Nick took it to work and machined it down just a little bit. And now you can see they line up perfectly. And this guy right here, trying to do this one-handed, slides in perfectly. So I've been out here tinkering with the car, still no transmission, waiting on the new casing to come back from powder coating. But I mean, this is just a rough mock-up, but added some sensors to the car, got fuel pressure, coolant pressure, waiting for a fitting for this one, but that's gonna be crankcase. We got oil pressure back there, but I'm just kind of roughly mocking up the harness for the sensors and running them in the car so that way I can go through and finalize it and stuff. I still got to add the EGTs once the manifold's on, and I need to add the EMAP canister. Okay, so I made the sensor harness that's going to go to the new Max ECU, and I did it the simplest way I could come up with. So normally you would have to get the connectors, which actually I have here. So normally when you're wiring in sensors, you would have to... That clip was pretty damn boring. I was just editing it. If it's boring to me, it's probably boring to y'all, so I'm just gonna not put it in there. It's just a rundown of how I made my harness. It's not even me actually making a harness, but regardless, if it's something you want to see, let me know and I can post it as a separate video. All right, you've kind of seen this already before, but this is after it's loomed. You can see got a little stretch of loom there, and this little piece right here is loomed. But it goes underneath the intake manifold and comes out here. I got them zip tied just kind of to the sensors just so it doesn't touch anything. But you can see where everything kind of comes together. They run down the side and they basically go into here. I mounted my canister for my EMAP, and you can kind of see The harness goes there too. I have all my EGTs ran and they go inside the car. Chance leaving Red Bulls in my engine bay, but that's all right. But yeah, I just want to kind of give you, you know, the visual with it and everything. I'll put a picture of the finished harness right here, but I don't want to pull it back out. So, cool thing also, I've kind of busted out my max ECU and all the little components that are going to go on the board that I'm going to install underneath my dash with everything on it. And I kind of just mocked it up here on the pool table. And I mean, it looks cool. But yeah. So if you don't know, I'm going to be on max ECU. This is the max ECU race ECU. I have a X Performance max ECU K-Series to max ECU adapter. This thing is pretty awesome. And it, again, just like the low dollar sensor leads, this took a lot of the guesswork out of the knowledge that I have to have for wiring and stuff like that. But this is a little VTEC relay. They, you know, even labeled everything. This is my AEM CAN bus. So basically my keypads and my digital dash will come straight out of here. It takes a lot of wiring out of that also. I made a thing. This is my first attempt at ever doing this, so if you don't know what this is, I'm about to show you. So, what it is just copper tubing. This is the tube that I made to feed my back pressure sensor. You can see the canister down there. I mean, I did the coil so that way it wouldn't get too hot. I'm hoping that works. I don't know. I feel like that came out okay for being my first one ever. I literally just used my jack handle and curled that around the jack handle several times and then kind of hand bent everything else. I actually bought a bender, but it sucks. Pretty cool. One more thing to check off the list. Here we go. Sounds fucking good.
I gotta move on to some stuff I gotta wrap up today anyway, so. But you got to hear it make noise.
Yeah, it sounded cool.
That's awesome. How's your motivation now?
Hi.
It sounds so fucking good.
Really?
It sounds gnarly. Alright, so Chance's tuner, a guy named Steve, is still working some stuff out. I don't even know if we've turned the boost up at all. Right now it's only making like 450. That's it. I mean, brand new build, car hasn't ran in 10 years. You know, got some stuff to work out. But it seems to be going great so far. And see how much jam this thing's gonna make. Right now they're having issues with the boost controller not coming on for whatever reason. It's all CO2 and it's got a Fuel Tech boost controller, but for whatever reason it's not communicating or something. So, or there's something in the software somewhere that isn't jiving. So, trying to figure that out so that way we can throw some power into this thing. All right, so they got the boost controller situation figured out. Car made about 20 pounds, made 550. And so we're waiting on the tuner to eat lunch, and then when he comes back, we're gonna turn this thing up more. All right, well, Chance broke his car already. No, it's got a random misfire and it's losing RPM signals, so got some stuff to figure out, but he's either gonna get it fixed or die trying. Inside joke.